Without any further ado, I'm super excited and welcome Marion Marino to the show.
Hey, hi. GoPro challenge. Yeah.
That's right. It's so good to see you, Marion. And
Yeah.
well, obviously
Same
we've
here.
been mentoring for, it's been like probably about a year now, right?
It feels like it's almost a year, actually. It's
It's
about
about a year,
10
yeah.
months. Yeah. Yeah.
And well, obviously we've been on the phone, so it's good. I've seen you in videos and obviously you've seen me in videos, but it's good to be live like this. So
Yeah.
let's jump in because, obviously you're on that path of building your business and we've done so much with you over the past, call it 10 months plus. So
Yes.
let's just like rewind back, because coaches are, as they listen to this, they're at a whole bunch of different levels in their business.
Sure.
So when you came to me just about a year ago, describe like kind of like where you were in your business and kind of what were some of your biggest challenges or the things that you were going through that
Sure.
you knew you needed help with?
Oh, well, in one word, I was a mess. I was I was really below ground level. I really had no clue. All I had were my certificates and a passion to build a business, but I had no clue what that looked like. And I had been floundering around trying to figure it out without success. And I knew I needed help. So you were the guy. I mean, everyone that I spoken to said you got to work with Jeff, and so I did. And it was figuring it all out. Working corporately. I'd never worked for myself before, so entrepreneurship was totally a new model for me, a whole new business and mindset, really. And I had no clue what that even looked like. So that's when you really helped me. You picked me up, you reached down, you picked me up and got me off and running. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So now we kind of started structuring your business. So talk about, those first several months and even, moving forward from there. Talk about like, maybe what were some of the things that you started doing in your business as we started moving forward?
Sure. I mean, the first thing we did really was really clarify my niche and get that really honed in. And we worked on a headline. I didn't have a website, so I had to get that up and running. And you were fantastic resource. Not that you built the website, but you were, you really helped to look it over and make sure that it was positioned correctly and the wording was good. And then then with the whole email platform and being able to communicate with an audience and not being technologically savvy, I was really very afraid of all of this stuff. But all the resources you referred me to were quite easy to figure out. And that what I couldn't figure out, you helped me. So that was, we just really built the platform together. And then from there, it was making it work, right? And getting out there and telling my story and doing live Facebooks, which was incredibly nerve-wracking in the beginning, but I did it. I felt like you were holding my hand the whole way. You were, and now I'm up to number 29. I'm doing my 29th broadcast this Friday, and it's so much more fluid now. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is good. So we really, what part of the structure was, obviously having a weekly email and doing a weekly live show, which you've been doing broadcasting live on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And so, like you said, this is your 29th week in a row, pretty much, right? That
Pretty much.
consistently doing the, like that's the big thing. So talk about, because this is where we started getting your message out there. And obviously, like you said, we started cultivating your message, coming up with, okay, who are you helping? What are you helping them with? Talk about like kind of what you went through emotionally as you started and even, well into it, writing the emails every week, doing the shows every week. Talk about kind of the internal struggles. I know I was able to help you through those pieces, but talk about what you went through. 'Cause I feel like a lot of coaches are at that stage where with it, whether doing something or nothing, they're just so timid or afraid to just, oh, I got to do it. I got to do it. And you are no different.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
was no different. And, my first video I did was just short, really short, and something that I felt comfortable talking about. I'd never been on Facebook Live in my life. So, it was just, I think it was the first day of fall. And I just kind of said something about it being fall. And it was like maybe it was like 5 minutes. I don't even think it was 5 minutes, but it really just broke the ice, and was really able to, and it was great. I came off of it. I was exhilarated. I felt so empowered. And then from there, it's been, and I can't say that it's been easy. Every week it's challenging. The creative process is challenging. Finding something to talk about, is it meaningful? Make it meaningful. And how I can, it's the email, that I'm writing. And then I kind of use the email as a teaser for my Friday broadcast. So I kind of have to know what I'm going to talk about on Friday loosely, and then I put the email together, and from there I build the structure. So it's not easy. I've shared that with you. Everybody makes it seem like it's so easy, but the creative process, at least for me, it's not just, bang it out. And it takes some time and effort. And actually, it's surprising how challenging it can be for me. Anyway, that was surprising to me. But like you said, consistency is the key. I think I fell off the wagon for a week, and it didn't feel good. And it took me a little bit of effort to get back on, because then all of the, those tapes that you play, you're not good enough. Is really anybody going to listen to you? What are you saying? All those started to play. But the consistency kind of keeps those voices manageable a little. And yeah, so I have to say the one thing you taught me is consistency. That's
yeah.
really what it is. And it doesn't really matter who's listening, because the lesson is more for me, and the consistency and getting in the routine and in the habit of those schedules, because it empowers me, and then obviously the audience is great to have people listen, but that's not really what it's about. It's more about getting myself out there, and the building of the audience comes later.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing is getting in that, past that. And then every week it just, the knowing that you have those things to do, no matter how easy or hard it is, like
Yeah,
you just do them. And like you said, it's actually just as easy to fall off and stop. Like you said, you stopped for a week, and then it was just like, it was good to hear you felt bad about it, because
I did.
that's like, you want to feel bad about it, because like you're creating something great there. And a lot of it in the beginning is for us. Like you're saying, it's allowing us to cultivate our message.
Mhm.
So talk about what you feel you've built in terms of the comfortability with your message, and through those shows, through the emails, in terms of how from, point 1, 2, or 3 weeks in, you and I cultivating your message. And always, even after we cultivate it, like with most people, there's some, one week it feels good, right? And the next
Yep.
week, remember you were doing your website and you're like, well, I think I
Yep.
kind of like, and it's all the same thing said different ways. But talk about how you've understood your message differently or better over, let's say, the past 29 weeks as a result of doing the shows, doing the emails.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and like you said, I mean, I didn't change my entire message, but you tweak it,
Mhm.
based upon feedback that you get, and just conversation that you have, clients who may hear you, and want more. They give you some feedback, and you just change it. And, changing one word here and there really makes a difference. And what I've learned really is that your message is going to change 1,000 times, and it only changes and only gets better. So it doesn't have to be it's not going to be perfect when you first say it. It's perfect for where you are at that one given time, right? And then in 3 weeks from now or a month from now, I'm evolving too, and I'm growing too. So now I'm hearing my message a little bit differently, and I want to evoke it differently, or say it a little bit differently. So it's an evolution, and I think we get in our own way when we think it has to be, this is it, it's got to be this, but it doesn't. It's a process, just like everything else in life. We just don't get to this point without all the experience we've had before. And it just keeps continuing. And I think that's the beauty of it. And that's the biggest lesson I've learned, is that just go with it, and I've screwed up on camera. I've made typos in my email. It's like, oh my God. But you know what? It's all part of being authentic and being human. I mean, last week I had so many problems getting on Facebook. The first 30 seconds of my video is like, oh my God, I couldn't get on Facebook. Like, but that's okay. I think the technical difficulties that we have just make it more authentic. And the same too with the message. I say my message a different way almost every week now. But it's okay because I'm so comfortable with it now. I can change it around and it still gets out there, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a practice piece where you become comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Let's shift for a minute now, talk. So we get past the basic structures and everything, and you going on some of that marketing, like you said, the emails, the events to stay in front of your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Then there comes time like, okay, now we've got to come up with your marketing plan, right? Now we've got to come up with a way to like get you out in front of people. And we came up with, I think, a pretty good plan. And then all this COVID stuff hit, and because you were doing face-to-face exclusively, really. And
right.
We had a pretty strong plan, right? With the different shop places you were going to go into and do events with. And then we actually had another session earlier this week or last week, whatever it was.
Yep.
And we kind of shifted everything to an online basis. So talk about like, even because I know you started doing that face-to-face stuff, and at some point you'll do that again. And we talked about the online strategies. So talk about kind of like what that's looking like for you in terms of, and any challenges that you face with those pieces.
Yeah.
I think that's always the next phase where, okay, now you're getting yourself out there in some capacity, but this is the proactive marketing plan where we're actually going to be reaching out to people.
Right. And that's my challenge now, is to grow my audience. So yeah, we had our session last week, and I'm not a social media person, I mean, it's just not in my DNA, although I'm becoming more and more so. And when we talked about the marketing online and what that looks like, and you explained a strategy that, and then when you said it was like going to a networking event, bingo, it was right there. Like, that made sense to me, to go, and talk to people in Facebook groups, and join different groups that are in my niche, and kind of talk to people. It's almost like, I can almost picture myself walking around the room and talking to people, and, dropping comments here and there, and seeing if you can engage people in conversation, and contribute to the group in a positive way, in an educational way, right? Which is what I'm doing in my video every week, is showing up, and whoever's listening, you want to at least have somebody walk away with one tip or one strategy, one aha moment that they've had, whether they want to engage you or not. That's what we do as coaches, right? We want to make someone's life even, a little bit better. So yeah, so I've started doing that and looking for groups to join, and introducing myself to the coordinator of the group, or the moderator of the group. That's been encouraging. So yeah, that's really what I just started doing that this week. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, so just this week, I just started doing that, and it feels good. It feels pretty natural, and listen, with every new thing, I'm outside of my box and outside of my comfort zone every single day, and it's not easy, and I have to really just do it. You just have to do it. I don't know what better way to say it. It's the Nike commercial. It's just do it, and it's okay. Yeah, but I'm afraid. I have fears just like everybody else, but somehow or other, the fears power me
Yeah,
to,
but the thing too is like you have a structure and you have a focus as well, and you know what you're going after, which is cool because you've gone through a lot in your world, even like with the COVID stuff and jobs and things like that. Like you
yes,
guys have you've dealt with a lot of things in your personal life, just like everybody does, right?
yes,
So, and I think those are the things. My clients, they'll be moving, they'll be going through stuff. Their kids will be going through their stuff. Their spouses will be going through stuff. Everything. And so the biggest piece that I've seen with you is that no matter what you've had to go through, you still keep going. No matter how hard something is, whether it's something simple like technology, which feels hard in the moment, or, something bigger in our world, like you've had that resilience to keep on going and you've kept your consistency no matter what. And I think like that's the thing that I've seen in you that I'm the most proud of is showing that consistency over time and the resiliency, because that's it's like we say the consistency, but I say that consistency over time. And that's where we start to say like, look what you've done in 10 months. And it feels like a long time, but it's also not a long time, you know?
right, right.
And then and the skill sets we learn as we move forward.
Yeah, you're absolutely
So
right. You're absolutely right. I mean, my husband and I both lost our jobs in the beginning of March, which was huge. And we're still not working, but I'm still coaching and doing my live broadcasts and my emails. And I'm so grateful for this space. And I've really even grown in these past couple of months, and seen even more opportunity despite COVID and despite my personal circumstances. So thank you for saying that. Yeah, persistence is in my DNA, I guess. But yeah, it's been wonderful, quite
yeah.
honestly.
And it doesn't matter how hard things get, like you kept going. And that's
Yeah,
the key to it all, because no one's immune to anything going on. It's not like, oh, my life has to be perfect in order for me to do all this stuff.
no,
It might take away from your time, like it took away from your time for quite a while doing some of those things, but you stayed strong with some of the base systems and structures we've set up for you. And that's a key to it.
yes, exactly right. And I'm so proud of what I've done, really, and
Yeah.
what we've done together. Really, it's been extraordinary. I wouldn't have thought that I'd have a website and a professional looking website. And I'm like, wow, like I'm really doing this. Yeah, it's very cool.
So speaking of your website, why don't you share with everyone your website? I can pull it up on the screen, and then also just a little bit kind of like about what you do. So we kind of pull it all together.
Oh, sure. Well, thank you. So my website is very easy. It's just my name, MarionMarinoCoaching.com. And I have a free resource there that you can, it's right there on the homepage. So I work with women in transition, women who are lost in transition. I help them manage change. And basically it's midlife aged women that I work with. And, I've gone through, as you say, I mean, you mentioned recent struggles, but in my lifetime, I've gone through many, many struggles, such as, divorce after a long marriage and breast cancer twice and change of career and change of jobs and loss of job. So, I'm no stranger to transition. So I become like a transition expert. And so those are the people that I work with. And thank you for sharing my website. So that's the best way to contact me too. Is you can go to the contact me page on my website, or you can email me directly at Marion@MarionMarinoCoaching.com. Yeah, so that's me, and that's what I do.
Yeah. So I noticed because you start to weave in some of your story, like in the things that you've been through, a bunch of transitions. And I know someone watching, and Anita wrote a question like, how many of your stories from your past should one share to deliver a consistent message or to have people resonate with us? So how have you worked your story into your message? Because I know that's obviously how I was able to help you kind of cultivate, who you're
Yeah,
helping.
yeah. I don't know that there's any right answer for that. I feel pretty comfortable sharing my story. I'm pretty proud of my story. Actually, I think, when I think back of all the things that I've been through in my life, I feel like it was my training ground to bring me here to my purpose and my passion and what I love to do. So, I feel like as a human being, I've gone through my stuff like everybody else, and I don't mind sharing my story. Now, are there things that I don't, that are a little too personal, a little too raw? Of course. And, those are the things that I keep private or may share with a client if the time, if it seems appropriate, but certainly not in my advertisement or my website. But yeah, Jeff, I've been pretty transparent with who I am.
Yeah, that's really cute. And then in wrapping up, Anita, great, thanks. I'm glad you saw that. And as we close up, like, what do you feel has been the biggest value for you, working with me as your mentor coach, through to this point?
I just feel like you have my back, and that, you've been there, you've done it all. I mean, I come up, there's not one scenario or one thought that I've had that you don't say, oh yeah, I've done that, or I've spoken to that kind of group, or it's extraordinary to me to know that everything I'm going through is not new, it's not unique. You've been there, and you can tell me, how to get through it and help me get through it. And that's really been extraordinary, because it's lonely being an entrepreneur. That's the one thing that I don't particularly like. But having someone like you as a partner, you feel like you're not alone. And I can always email you. You're very accessible, answer right away. And just knowing that, I don't have to know everything. I can ask you and then make a decision, right? So it's been great. I mean, I have to say, you've been a tremendous resource. And more than that, you've been a tremendous support for me. So I thank you for that.